We are in Ocean City, Maryland with longtime Ocean City Mayor Rick Meehan. Mr. Mayor, thank you for joining us out here in the sunshine.
Well, it's a pleasure and it's great to have you all out here right on the beach. It's
You
great.
know, an hour ago I was in Salisbury, 10 degrees warmer than this. This is just perfect beach weather.
Yeah, the breeze off the ocean cools things down just a little bit, but still, it's been a beautiful day out here. And I think you can look at everybody; they're still out on the beach, and it's after 5 o'clock.
Last year, of course, was the big pandemic year. This year, the numbers are getting better, vaccinations are improving. What should vacationers know before they come to Ocean City?
Yeah, everything's changed. This is 2021, and we're following all the state guidelines. So all the restrictions have basically been lifted. Masks are not required on the boardwalk. There may be some businesses that still request that you wear a mask, but all of our restaurants, all of our bars, all the entertainments facilities, our bus is running again. Our tram is running on the boardwalk. We're back to normal.
Last year, how difficult was it for vacationers, for the business community here, for the city government itself?
Well, it was really difficult, especially for our businesses. They were under so many restrictions, and then as some restrictions were lifted, we had more and more visitors coming, but our businesses were still struggling with occupancies and also with getting employees. So they were struggling trying to make sure they could provide the service that everybody's accustomed to. But I can tell you, they were very innovative. They opened up a lot of outside dining. They did a lot of things to make sure they could accommodate the guests that came into their businesses.
In terms of city government, your revenues, your operations, what did you see last year? What do you expect this year?
Yes, our revenues were down about 15%, maybe a little bit more in some categories. Like the boardwalk tram didn't run at all. Our system was basically shut down. But we saw revenues, increase in some categories as well as we got into the summer. So all in all, Ocean City fared as well as could be expected.
I would expect this to be a big year. There's so many people who maybe didn't get here or didn't get anywhere last year. They're ready for a vacation.
Well, we've already seen that. I mean, since March on weekends, the town has been very, very crowded. And you get the nice sunny day on the boardwalk in March and April. We've seen really big crowds. All the businesses that have been open are way ahead. Most of them are way ahead of 2019. So I think that's an indication of what's to come for the summer of 2021.
I've seen some help wanted signs. How big an issue is that?
That's a really big issue. A lot of people aren't working right now. Some are being discouraged from work, I think, but we don't have our J1 students here.
Those are the international kids.
They're the international students. That's the J1 Cultural Exchange Program. Typically, we'll have anywhere from 4,500 to 5,500 of those students here. Right now, there might be 100. So that has really made it difficult for most of our businesses. We're hoping that's going to ease up. It's okay on our end in the United States. It's getting them through the embassies in their own countries that's holding everything up.
Good news is if somebody local is looking for a job, I don't know if you can find a place to live here reasonably, but this is a good place to look for work.
If anybody within 300 miles is looking for a job, I mean, there's all types of jobs available in the city, in private enterprise. I mean, really, one thing I do ask all of our visitors is, our businesses are doing their very best under a difficult circumstance. Have a little bit of patience because it just might take them a little bit longer.
Some public safety things to talk about. So we talked about masks and all that. And if somebody wants to wear one, I'm sure it's fine with you and everybody else. There was an incident over the weekend. I know this may be senior week. I'm out of the loop on
Okay.
that, but I hear it's senior week. And there was a fight that turned into a slashing. There have been a couple of fairly serious crimes over the past couple of years. What's Ocean City doing to address concerns about that?
I think everybody has to realize we're the second largest city population-wise in the state of Maryland. And, the world around us is difficult right now, and we are going to face some of those situations. We have to be realistic. Any of the incidents that occurred last year were very isolated. They were really within groups of people. They didn't affect anybody else, which is, really a good news. And in all cases, arrests were made. This year, we had an incident the other night. Again, it was amongst a group of people that knew each other. Self-contained, isolated, unfortunate. Our police department is out. We have more police officers on the boardwalk and in Ocean City this year than ever before. We've got our public safety aides. You'll see them in the yellow vests. They're up here. Our deployments are very well concentrated in areas where we have seen some issues occur. I think everybody's going to be very safe here in Ocean City.
You've hired new full-time officers, I understand. When it comes to training, especially the seasonal officers, nationally, of course, there's a lot of focus on police training and how they interact with people of different backgrounds. How can Ocean City address that?
Yes, our police, I'll take them over anybody. I mean, no disrespect to any other department, but they're really well trained. Our summer police officers go through a rigorous training program approved by the Maryland State Police. So, I mean, it's a good program. And many of our seasonal officers started out as public safety aides. So, they already have some experience, especially up here on the boardwalk. So we count on them heavily. They've done a really good job this year.
The other thing about public safety, we mentioned that people are anxious to get out, have a vacation, enjoy a day like this. You struggled over the years reaching people with basic safety messages about rip currents in the ocean, about trying to cross coastal highway against the light or not in a crosswalk. And if people are even more focused on the party aspect, it's even harder to reach them with those messages.
Well, it is. We ask everybody to please, do the same things you do at home when you come to Ocean City, hopefully. And, we do everything to get our messaging out. We use a tremendous amount of social media. We have signs everywhere. We're doing everything we can. We want everybody to arrive to Ocean City safely, be safe while they're here, and return home safely. Our lifeguards, they're on the beach every day from 10 to 5:30. If they see rip currents out there, they'll actually come down from the stand and pull people in from around them and talk to them about the rip currents and what they need to do to avoid them or what they need to do if they get caught in one. We're very, very proactive.
It's been a focus nationally and locally on clean energy. Looking at this view of the Atlantic Ocean, this is what people come for. There are plans for wind turbines off the coast. Where does that stand?
Well, they're moving forward with the projects. U.S. Wind has the lease for the areas right off of our coast. We support their project, but just not in the location that they're planning to put the turbines. They're going to be as close as 12 miles from our shoreline. They will be very visible from our shoreline, particularly at sunrise. That sunrise off the horizon and the coast of Ocean City will never be the same.
What's the solution from your standpoint? Are you saying no windmills?
No, we don't have any problem with the wind turbines. We just want to see them move further to the east. And we started that 4 years ago, trying to get them to move some of those lease areas or create new areas to move them a little further off our coast. They're 26 miles off the coast of Virginia. They're further than that off the coast of North Carolina. Why do they need to be 12 miles off the coast of Ocean City?
Are they going to be all the way from the inlet to Delaware?
There's a lease area that's directly off the beach, basically where we're standing going north. Then there's a second lease area up at the northern part of Ocean City that goes on into Delaware. And we're trying to make sure that the Delaware communities realize some of those turbines are going to be as close as 12 miles off their coast sooner rather than later.
There's a sign in front of City Hall on 3rd Street in Ocean City that lists all of the mayors that this town has had. And I was looking at that a minute ago and noticed that the longest serving mayor is no longer the legendary, the late Harry Kelly. It's now Rick Meehan. When you were a kid in Baltimore growing up, was this the big plan?
No, it wasn't. The plan was to work here in Ocean City and to live here, which I worked here every year all through high school and college, and moved here when I graduated from college and got on the council in 1985. No, I didn't realize that. As a matter of fact, it was former Mayor and State Senator Jim Mathias that brought that to my attention a couple months ago, and I didn't even have any idea.
You're obviously very good at the PR aspect of the job. Harry Kelly was the master. I mean, I picture the bulldozer. I remember him promising people a tank of gas so you could get back home. A tough act to follow.
Yes, it was. He was something, and we referred to him, as you did, the late great Harry Kelly. But he helped set the tone, I think, for Ocean City and separate us and set us apart and show he had great love for our town. And I think the mayors that have followed have shared that love for Ocean City, and I think it's evident in the way the town presents itself.
Let me ask you to take your mayor hat off for a second and put your real estate expert hat on. What happened here when the pandemic hit? All of a sudden, we know around the country, locations where people could get a second home and had the means to do so, the sales just went through the sky. What have you seen here in Ocean City as people who maybe have been able to work remotely figure, I can work remotely from the beach?
Well, we saw that, and as the pandemic, moved forward, we saw a lot of people that had second homes come down here. They would rather be quarantined here, in their houses in Ocean City on the ocean front, working from home. Then we saw it started to affect the real estate market, and you're right. A lot of people were purchasing second homes and utilizing them really as remote offices. So that as it was a result of our market really taking off, and just the fact that people wanted to be in this area. They felt safe in East Ocean City on the Eastern Shore and some of these less populated areas, and that's continued.
You need good internet. You have good internet
We have
here?
good internet in Ocean City, absolutely.
How about new construction? Are you seeing much?
No, there isn't a lot of new construction. There's a few small projects going on. There is some construction in West Ocean City, but really not a lot of new construction right now. The cost of new construction is extremely high at the moment.
The other great advantage this town has comes around every 17 years, only lasts for a few weeks. And I was going to bring you a plastic baggie full of Maryland cicadas from your youth that you would remember.
Yeah.
You don't have them here.
No, they're not indigenous to the Eastern Shore. The sand, they're not. It's not compatible for cicadas. So we are a cicada-free zone here in Ocean City. So if you'd rather listen to the sound of the ocean and the breeze coming, across the beach than listening to the cicadas, this is where you want to be.
I think the sea breeze would just blow them all back to Towson.
So that's okay.
What's the summer look like in terms of events? You tend to schedule a lot of things, conventions that are going to draw people in for the shoulder seasons.
Yes, we do. People don't realize 8 million people visit Ocean City every year. 4 million come between Memorial Day and Labor Day. The other 4 million come in the off season, which, has grown tremendously. And, we just finished Spring Fest a few weeks ago. We had cruising a couple weeks ago. We're getting ready on the 19th and 20th to host the air show here in Ocean City. And there's nothing like watching the Thunderbirds come from over the Atlantic and go overhead. I mean, it is really a great sight and a great feeling. We're going to continue on all summer long with the different events. We have a laser show planned for the boardwalk one night a week in July. We'll have our fireworks, of course, on the beach and up at Northside Park July 4th. White Marlin Open, the largest billfish tournament in the world, first week in August. There's a lot planned here in Ocean City.
Huge prizes, millions, right?
Millions. It's the largest billfish tournament in the world.
I need to learn how to fish.
Yeah, well, you have to be able to afford to do it. I think that's the big thing.
Because that's big boats and it's expertise.
That's big boats. Yeah, they're up there for the big fish and the very, very big prize.
What's the marketing strategy for Ocean City now? And was it affected last year? You've gone through, everybody sees the ads. You can remember the Spokes Guard was a classic.
Rodney.
You had people wearing T-shirts that said vacation day and don't waste a vacation day. That was great. Has the budget situation affected that? And what are you targeting this year?
Yeah, our budget has sustained itself as far as advertising goes. And really, as a result of what everybody went through last year, we're focusing on tradition. We're focusing on memories. We're focusing on the reasons people want to be here, the generations, the different decades of families that have come down here. It's about ocean memories, and it's about creating new ones with new families and, expanded families. So it's about tradition this year. It's about having fun at the beach.
Before we go, let's stress the safety stuff. For people coming down here, what do you want them to know about the beach, the surf, and the highways and everything else, the rides and all sorts of other ways people can get into trouble?
Most important thing is they say keep your feet in the sand till the guard's in the stand, and they're in the stands every day from 10 to 5:30. Swim near the lifeguards, introduce the kids to the lifeguards. Coastal highway, walk at the crosswalks, obey the crosswalk signals, do the same thing you would do at home. Just take the same precautions. Everybody's on vacation or having a good time. It's easy to relax a little bit. You can relax, but just make sure you keep everybody in your family safe.
I know there was a vaccination clinic at Secrets, the gigantic bar of all places. Is that stuff dealt with more at the state level, or is the city involved in anything coming up?
Yeah, that's really run by the Worcester County Health Department, and we've worked close with them all through the pandemic. Our paramedics were all trained to give the vaccine early on. They've assisted the health department throughout the entire county. We have had different locations here in Ocean City. It's set up at the convention center, I think, right now, free vaccine. So, we're trying to play our role and get everybody vaccinated to help keep everybody safe.
Mr. Mayor, we've interviewed over the years everybody from Harry Kelly to Fish Pal, Jim Mathias, and you, and nobody's done a better job at arranging for perfect weather than Rick Meehan has. So, Mr. Mayor, thanks for the time.
Thanks, Jeff. It was great to see you in person this year.
Likewise.
Come back next year. It's great to have you in Ocean City.
Will do. Thank
All
you,
right.
sir.
Thank you. It's 2021, and we're following all the state guidelines, so all the restrictions have basically been lifted. Masks are not required on the boardwalk. There may be some businesses